The new government has now taken over operations at Waia Nunu Farm and the fish factory. Honourable Premier Tokedalangi says that government shares in the Nonu and fish factory joint ventures are not included in the Reef Group receivership deal. Staff at the farm will now be paid by Niue government until a more formal deal can be agreed on. Honourable Talangi also confirmed that Nick Shark has been appointed as the new manager for the Waia farm following the departure of the reef-appointed manager a few months ago. In addition to the joint venture, the NPNC board has now also taken over operations at the civil quarry as part of the government transformation process. Last week on Wednesday, the wharf was packed with anxious families and friends of a fisherman assumed lost at sea. The young fisherman in his early 30s is said to have launched off fishing in his canoe at Namukulu at about 6:30 in the morning and was expected back on shore at 9 a.m. He told BCN News that about an hour into his fishing expedition, a striped marlin had caught his line, and after battling for about 2 hours, his canoe was starting to take on water. It was then that a decision was made to cut the line. But after attempting to bail out water, the rough conditions far out at sea submerged the canoe and it started to drift. However, according to the fisherman, fortunately an unwound line had caught on to something, helping to keep the canoe in one place while he waited. Meanwhile, on land, family alerted Niue police at about 10 a.m. and a search party was gathered. The response was astounding as the Fisheries Division, many local fishermen and divers offered a helping hand. Even the government launch was sent out to the search. According to sources who found him, it was a relief that he was found, considering it was about 5 miles out at sea from Makapu Point. In this incident, the calm response by the fisherman and his decision to stay with his vessel helped the search and rescue team to recover him safely. Fisheries say they will be looking at holding further water safety awareness campaigns with a focus on what to do to ensure safety out at sea, especially for canoe fishermen and general fisher folk. Fisheries Division Manager James Tafatu says that a few simple steps for those planning to venture out to sea would be to check their weather forecast, tell someone where you're going and what time to expect you back, and also to have all safety equipment on board like a life jacket. As for the relieved fisherman, he is thankful to all the friends and families and search rescue teams who assisted in his recovery and was also relieved to be back on land. However, the experience hasn't deterred him from his passion for fishing, but he says in future he will be mindful to take greater safety precautions and never to venture out on his own again. Consultations are currently being held on the island to discuss views on the region's master strategy for regional integration and coordination, the Pacific Plan that was endorsed by leaders in 2005. The overall objective of the review is to assess the effectiveness and ensure the continued relevance of the plan. This week, an independent review team has taken a consultation approach but have found the awareness levels about the Pacific Plan is quite limited within the region.
We have found in other countries that we have visited in the region, there seems to be limited knowledge of the Pacific Plan. Of course, and it makes a difference in that when we discuss with them, like in any other countries, the Pacific Plan is not well known as we had hoped for. Right now in the current Pacific Plan, there's just too many priorities. So our efforts here is the current undertaking is to try as much as possible to kind of bring those down together to make it more concise, so that could be effectively dealt with, hopefully in the coming years, depending on the wishes of our Pacific Island leaders. This is my personal view in that if we're going to have a refreshed plan, Pacific Plan, we need to have it commonly used in the government formulation of public policies to better the lives of our citizens on a regular basis.
Based on the discussion with various stakeholders groups, the review team has identified that Niue has quite a unique set of challenges.
Niue face a very unique set of challenges along with the Cooks. Some of the issues that they raised have been about depopulation and the sort of threat the sustaining the culture in the face, I guess, of labour mobility. So, I mean, that is a key issue in the Pacific Plan, the idea that people should move freely throughout the Pacific, but for some countries that they're very keen on that, and other countries like Niue and the Cooks, they see it as much more mixed blessing. So that's one issue. Some of the other ones are fisheries, resolving some of the, I guess, allocation disputes about who gets to fish how much, where and when. Non-communicable diseases is something that people have raised. I guess those are the main ones so far. I think one other, transport, where I guess recently there have been some very positive developments with the new Air New Zealand flight starting next week, and I guess a new contract with Matson.
The review team have been very pleased with the level of engagement and discussion whilst on the island, and hope that those who missed out on the public consultations will make use of the alternative option for public submissions on their website.
We've asked for public submission, so anyone who is interested in making a submission, just go to www.pacificplanreview.org and they'll see that they can make a submission. We ask in general that they're public submissions, but if people want to make a confidential submission, we're also allowing them to do that as well.
The review team are also on schedule with country visits and have already completed Samoa, Tonga, Tuvalu, New Zealand, Australia, Vanuatu, Cook Islands and French Polynesia. There are a few more consultations with religious groups and leaders over the next few days. The recent Energy Summit organised by New Zealand for the Pacific region began in Tonga, and Niue's leader attended with government officials. Honourable Take Talangi said one of the reasons Niue attended the summit to gauge some of the projects already established and roadmaps in place to execute the renewable energy priorities. He said Niue did not request funding during the summit that revealed millions of donor funding available for the Pacific to initiate renewable energy projects. However, he said Niue does not need funding at present as it has funding to implement some of the projects started, but he did advise donors not to forget Niue when it does ask for assistance. Niue has two projects already started, one funded by the European Union and the other from Palm 5. And to end our news bulletin for tonight, Kilikiki season is back on track after 3 weeks on break. All the 5 fields around the island were buzzing with action as the weather turned up the heat, and some teams struggled to find their form, but it was entertaining for the spectators. From Pool A, the team from Hakupu was on bye. Alofi met their competition in the team from La Kepa when they first faced off on the field in Hakupu. Alofi went on to win that game. The field in La Kepa was the pitch for the match between Liku and Tamakotonga, with the team from Liku claiming victory. That was also the fourth and final game for Tamakotonga, who put on a good fight. In Pool A standings, see Hakupu on top. With 3 wins in their 3 games, Hakupu has 15 points, followed by Alofi, who have had 2 games, 1 win and 1 loss, giving them 6 points. Liku has had 2 games with 1 win and a loss, which gives them 6 points. Tamakotonga 4 games, 2 wins and 2 losses, 12 points. La Kepa 3 games, 3 losses and they get 3 points. As for Pool B, Hikutamake Toimet were up against Avaseli on the pitch in Mutalau. Avaseli took the win from that match. Mutalau versus Tuapa in Waiea gave Tuapa their second win in the competition, as Mutalo failed to catch up with the score of Tuapa. Makefu versus Vaea in Liku gave Vaea their first win for the season. The standings in Pool B have Vaea with 3 games, 1 win, 2 losses, 7 points. Tuapa have had 2 games with 2 wins, 10 points. Makefu have had 2 games with 1 loss, 1 draw. They receive 4 points. Abasele has had 3 games, 2 wins, 1 loss, 11 points. Hikutoi have had 3 games, 1 draw, 3 losses, gives them 5 points. Mutalo 3 games, 2 wins and 1 loss. They receive 11 points. Niue Kilikiki Federation says that there will be further games this weekend and next week to catch up on game time before the finals on the 4th of May. That's our news bulletin for tonight. Good evening.